Hello again. It's hard to restrain a smile when we think about how delighted so many people on the left were when Nigel Farage had his bank account closed. Served him right? What was he moaning about? Purely commercial decision by the bank and so on? When the awful woman who leaked details of his account to the BBC resigned, this was portrayed as his bullying a woman out of her job. It was a marvellous display of hypocrisy and malice, and I cannot remember when last I've gained so much enjoyment from a news story. I'm not a particular supporter of Nigel Farage, although I'm not opposed to him either. He always struck me as just another well-to-do political type, and the news that he had an account with Coots did nothing to dispel this view. Even so, I saw very clearly the implications of what had happened, and knew that for a bank manager to discuss the details of a customer's account with a journalist was an outrageous action, one for which he deserved to be sacked, never mind being allowed to leave with a big payoff. For days, Liberals and left-wingers were denouncing the government over the business and asking what it had to do with the Prime Minister. The answer is, of course, that since most of us rely upon bank accounts in our day-to-day life, especially now that cash is on the way out, this makes confidentiality and confidence in the integrity of banks all the more important. Our very lives depend upon it. Now comes the news that Gina Miller has also had her bank account closed down. Gina Miller, it will be recalled, was the ghastly South American who launched legal efforts to thwart Brexit and was instrumental in delaying the implementation of the mandate given to the British government by the referendum held in 2016. In other words, she is an enemy of democracy. She seems, though, to have changed her tune on democracy lately. Since finding out that her own bank account is to be terminated, she has declared that in a country where such a thing can happen, we don't have a functioning democracy. Miller may be seen in the thumbnail to this video. This is all a perfect illustration of what I was saying the other day, which is that increasingly people in this country are no longer concerned about right and wrong or objective measures of fairness, democracy, truth, or anything else. Instead, all that many of us do is to find out what side of the political spectrum a person is on and then use that as a basis for our views and opinions on the situation. So it was that Nigel Farage was largely responsible for Britain leaving the European Union, and as such is widely hated by those who support the Labour Party and Liberals in Britain. When a misfortune befalls him, something like having his bank account closed down, then such people are delighted and mutter that it serves him right. When the chief executive at NatWest Bank resigns, it's because she has been bullied and picked on by Nigel Farage. It doesn't matter that this is obviously insane nonsense to anybody viewing the matter who has no political axe to grind. When exactly the same thing happens to Gina Miller, though, a fervent Remainer who tried to derail the democratic process in this country, those same people are appalled and rally to her defence. These days, prejudice and personal opinion are everything, and calm, considered judgments are no longer in fashion.